Hello, folks, and welcome into B&T Sports Talk Show. I'm your boy T. I'm here with my man B, and we are here to discuss all the happenings in sports this week. Thank y'all for joining us this Sunday evening. Oh, man, we're in for some fun with playoff basketball. If this is your first time listening to us, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the notification button, like the video. We appreciate all of it. Just do it all. B, how you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm good, man. It's Sunday. We've had we finally got some great basketball games this weekend here. It was a very slow start, but the playoffs are now in full swing. First week is done. We have a lot to talk about. We got a lot of teams to make fun of during this as well, so I'm looking forward to it, man. Before we move forward here, and for those who are tuning in, let's wish my man a happy birthday. T, it's a little early here. Your birthday's what, Wednesday, I believe, right? On Wednesday?
Yeah, birthday's coming up Wednesday.
Yeah, happy birthday, my man. Happy birthday.
Getting real old. But before we do that, I'll give a quick shout out to my lovely wife. We celebrated our 8th anniversary, wedding anniversary.
Yeah, we just celebrating everything for you this weekend, my man.
Yeah, man.
Wedding anniversary.
That's why I took time off work. Hey.
Awesome, man. That's great to hear. Happy anniversary to you guys as well, dude. 8 years. 8 years is amazing. Absolutely.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Oh, man. Let's get into it. Let me bring up we got to start off with the obvious. And you see what, I don't know if anybody can see. I've got the light in the background. I've got the shirt on. So you already know what time it is. It's time to talk about my team. That's right. I actually have something to be happy about. Generally, the situation or conversation around the Lakers has been hot garbage in this playoff series, but they finally did it. They won one game. They beat the Denver Nuggets for the first time in 2 years. And, it was glorious. And, as a Laker fan, am I expecting them to win after being down 3-0? Probably not. But you know what? You take it one game at a time. Really, as a fan, the only thing I was asking for was for them to not crap off a lead. They spent most of this series being ahead of the Denver Nuggets, and they've been shoveling the games back to the Nuggets like, nah, we don't want to win. It's okay. You guys can have it. So it was nice to see they actually fought back. LeBron did the big giant baby pose whenever he was crying to the sideline for a review.
Challenge.
I mean,
challenge.
There is no other place on earth where a grown man can do that move and get away with it. But the full jump in the air with the hands and the stomp.
Bro.
I mean,
he makes toddlers. He makes toddlers look like they're better at complaining than he was. That was terrible, man. What a crybaby.
I was like, Bron. I mean, I agree with him. I mean, I thought Darvin Ham should have challenged that call. Just to give some context, basically, LeBron had a play where he swiped at a ball. The ball went out of bounds. He never touched it. The guy lost it out of bounds. I forgot who it was. I think it was Jamal Murray or somebody. And he's yelling at Darvin Ham, review it, do the challenge thingy, hit the button, and Darvin didn't do it. Darvin had his hands in his pockets like he always does, and just kind of stared there and rubbed the little lump on top of his head and kept moving. And so, but
I feel like that lump's getting bigger on his head too. The more this series goes on,
I hope it's got some plays in it because that's what they need right now. But yeah, I thought it was hilarious, man. But the fact that they overcame that and Denver just looked like they didn't want to play anymore. They kind of were like, yeah, they didn't have a lot of energy. They looked tired. But I'll give you some opportunity to talk about it. But B, honestly, what I saw here the only thing I saw was a little bit different. Was they let someone else handle the ball and have Bron playing the Aaron Gordon role. Bron was at the 3-point line, playing 3-point line in, and he got a few easy layups and dunks off of that play. He's just playing a traditional 4 spot, which I thought worked out well because him handling the ball all the time was getting nauseous. He started getting a little heady and started throwing. He starts turning the ball over, starts taking shots where you're like, yeah, I don't know, Bron. I don't think that was the one. And again, this team doesn't really trust its teammates and does not run plays. So since nobody trusts anybody, they just end up playing one-on-one basketball, which is generally how they end up losing to the Denver Nuggets anyway. The other thing was you got a better showing from D'Angelo Russell and Austin Reeves, so they showed up and contributed a little over 20 points apiece. So I thought that was good, and they competed enough to not cough up the game. That's really what it came down to. They actually showed some grit and showed that they actually wanted to win.
You know what the crazy part is the Lakers have led for about almost a full game of minutes here in this series. Yet they're down 3-1 here. So that shows you they're in these games, but they are just, like you said, coughing up leads. What the Lakers need to do is after tomorrow night, make sure they have a postseason celebration. Put a banner in the rafters since we're hanging in-season tournament banners. Hang a banner in there saying we did not get swept by Denver. Finally, you guys have broken that schneid there. So it seems like we're just hanging banners left and right. So you guys might as well just add
Not
that
us. No. I'm afraid. No,
there.
I'm sorry, Lakers. We don't hang banners unless they're championships. Okay, keep that in Sacramento and New Orleans and all these other places that are hanging Beyonce and John, McCarthy banners up there because someone performed in their stadium or whatever. No, we don't do that in Lakerland. Lakerland, it's only championships. Sorry, so no, we won't be doing that. It's the Denver Nuggets. I'm happy for them. I really am. I'm happy that they're good. But let's keep it 100. It's not the organization that's winning these games. It's the players and the coach.
Oh, it's the players, 100%.
This is not 100%. The chicken nuggets have been around for quite some time now. So I'm glad they finally got the limelight.
All I'm saying is the difference between you guys being tied 2-2 in the series and down 3-1 is D'Angelo Russell's goose egg in game 3. If he just has remotely any sort of game that is good, I mean, you can even make the argument that the Lakers could be 3-1 in this series if it wasn't for Jamal Murray's lucky shot at the end of regulation in game 2.
Well,
that's how
they coughed up a 20-point lead at that point. I mean, they weren't.
But that's what I'm saying, though. That's how close. That's how they should be about 3-1 right now. Is because they've blown these leads. They've had players go disappearing at the most inopportune times to say here. And that's the difference in a series here with that. Because when you look at it, AD's having a really good series here. But just the inconsistency from one fourth quarter to the next is bad. One game, he had an amazing fourth quarter. Second game, he's non-existent here. I think that was game 1. He had the great fourth quarter. Game 2, nowhere to be found. He has to take charge and demand the ball in the post every single possession that he's on the court. He's got to demand that ball there because the Joker's not doing anything against him. He's not doing anything special against AD here. So AD's got to demand that there to take a little pressure off of LeBron here and just kind of force the action through him. The ball has to touch AD's hands every single time down on that court, whether it's on a pick and roll, whether it's isolation ball, he has to touch that ball.
I agree and disagree. I agree that he needs to touch the ball every time. I disagree that he needs to demand the ball. I don't know if you watched the fourth quarter that game 2 or game 3, whatever the heck it was, but LeBron had the ball in his hand a majority of the time throughout that fourth quarter, and he wasn't passing it to anybody. He was just tossing up shot after shot. He bricked a layup a couple of times. The man was on a mission to prove something, and it wasn't working out. I think what it comes down to is the Lakers do this thing where they run a certain offensive set, and then they go away from it, and then they stop doing it. Okay, we know LeBron is old. Okay, we found that out. This playoff, if this playoffs has shown anything, it's shown that LeBron is old. And when it gets to the third or fourth quarter, LeBron cannot be the sole focal point of our offense. We still have to be a multifaceted offense that can score from different places. And if he's going to just dominate the ball, Anthony Davis could demand the ball all he wants. He's not going to get it, especially not if LeBron is the one taking the shots, because that's what we expect him to do. The difference has to be LeBron has to trust the guys around him, which I don't know if he does or if he doesn't. And he has to trust the coach, which none of us do. Because let's be honest, the Lakers go on I think it was the game they lost where they were by 20. They went on they went 4 minutes without scoring. And this is a team that it's a pretty good offensive team. And it's just because, well, they start standing around and looking at each other and shooting contested 3-point shots, and they get away from the game plan. That's on coaching. That's on all the players. Because at the end of the day, Anthony Davis he could sit his butt right down in the post. That's not going to stop LeBron from taking that sidestep three. That's not going to stop D'Angelo Russell from taking that 3-point shot from the half court line. That's not going to stop guys from taking bad shots. It seems like Taurean Prince is the only one that understands that what their job is. I catch the ball, I shoot the ball. If someone's running at me, I pump fake and I drive to the rim. Everybody else is trying to do 20 different things. And that's why Darvin Ham needs to be fired. It's because our players, when it comes to Austin Reeves, D'Lo, they are being asked to do something different every time. And instead, we should be running an offense that fits what we're trying to do, instead of just trying to hope something happens in our favor. And so, that's my one, grief with this team is you don't wait to get to the postseason to start figuring this stuff out. This is the type of stuff you figure out in the regular season. And that's why they're so inconsistent, because they never got it figured out. In the 82 games, they had to make it happen.
Yeah, let's get us caught up in the chat. We got Drunk saying happy B-Day, happy anniversary, happy Braun surviving a sweep here. And then JJ, congrats. Hope you both have been well. We've been doing good, my man. Glad to see you guys back in here.
Thanks,
Drunk comes back with no joking. Salute, bro, for the anniversary though. They said Darvin Ham should wear pants with no pockets so he can actually coach.
Yeah, right. I don't know what's in his pocket, man.
Jason Kidd is just as bad as Ham, but he's still one of the most sought out after coaches every time he gets fired. I think the difference with he actually wins where he goes. He hasn't gotten to that pinnacle yet, but when hiring Jason Kidd, you've got a chance at the playoffs here every single time here. I mean, look what he did with, what was it, Milwaukee? Well, he was in Milwaukee, right?
He was in Milwaukee, yeah. He was with Giannis in the beginning.
He was with Giannis. He was look what he's doing with Dallas here. Little resurgence with Dallas as well. So everywhere he's been, he's actually been a pretty decent coach here. I think the only challenge he had was Brooklyn at the time, but we all know how that experiment was going for him. So that was a bit harder challenge for him. And then Drunk says, Lakers next banner, we held Jamal Murray under 20, what was it, 30 points per game for series here?
Yeah. I mean, if you look at the numbers, they haven't played that well. I mean, honestly, like the Nuggets haven't played that great. You know what I mean? Like it's been Jokic. Jamal Murray's been okay. You know what I mean? Kevin, what's his name? Michael Porter Jr. I keep saying Kevin. Michael Porter Jr. has had he has some good games, but KCP hasn't been half the guy he's been during the regular season. Aaron Gordon showed up one game and then went to the next game and was like, "Yeah, no,
he said I'm good.
I'm good. If it's not, he's like, if it's not dunks and layups, folks, I'm not taking them." So yeah, I think it's very interesting. It's sad to see the Lakers have every opportunity to beat this team and show them that they can compete against them, but they just can't close out games. I don't know what that's about.
Hey man, I'm all for it. I was hoping for a sweep. You guys got one. You guys, it's over in Denver. Let's just put it like that here.
Hey, look, I'll just put it like this. Denver cannot let us win this next game. The Lakers cannot win this next game, obviously.
You sound like Richard Jefferson right now when he made that promise.
Like, what did he say?
He said the same thing. He said when the Warriors were down up 3-1 in 2016, he said, "Don't let us win this game." And then we all know how the rest of that history played out, coming from a 3-1 deficit. So we won't relive that there.
The Nuggets have to play their best game. They cannot come out there and think that they're going to survive a similar situation to what they did the first 3 games, really, where they let the Lakers get out to this big lead, and now they're going to try to...
I'm calling a blowout to you guys. You guys are getting blown out tomorrow night. I'm sorry. I got to say, you guys are getting blown out tomorrow night. They're not messing around tomorrow. They got a chance to end that at home. And when it comes to the postseason, we all know ending a team's season is the hardest do. And that's hard in any sport. NHL, MLB, NBA, the NFL. You have to end someone's season, so you have to be absolutely perfect.
Yeah, you do.
Generally, when a team is up 3-0, the hardest thing to do is to sweep a team. So that generally that's when that team will get the one win. But you can see where the dominance will take place in Game 5, and I honestly think they are just going to absolutely hammer the Los Angeles Lakers into the snow, send them back to LA, send LeBron to Golden State with his son next season as well. We're all looking forward to it, my man. We are all
We'll
looking
see.
forward to
We will
it.
see. We will see. All right, we will see. Let's. I guess let's move on to the next one. This isn't much of a series at all.
I
And
love this one.
I
Let's
mean,
talk about it because it's going on right now too. So let's talk about it.
yeah, the Suns are taking on the Wolves, and the Wolves have just completely hammered them throughout most of the series. I don't even think it's been close. Bradley Beal, Booker, Kevin Durant, none of these guys have really shown much of anything really, other than knocking down a few jumpers here and there. But they're playing against a complete team with Conley and you've got Gobert, and then of course the emergence of Ant Edwards, who's been dominant really and has played extremely well. There's no defensive, there's no defense on the Suns end to speak of that can really stop any of those guys. So yeah, they're gonna get ran, man. I think you might be right. This is a game where the Suns win, but I don't know. I feel like the Wolves might just come in and maybe they do just hammer them, or maybe it's a close game, but they end up sweeping them.
I think I don't know. You got two guys in Booker and Durant who are going to, put everything on the line to get this win here. But you take so much energy just to win one game when you still need to win three more right after that there. And it really takes a toll
Yeah,
on these players here. The thing for the Wolves here is again, they're in uncharted territories. This is where you have to close a team out. So even if they're up 3-0 right now and they've been dominant for the first three games, getting this one win to end a team season is going to be the hardest for them. And we're going to talk about the same thing for OKC as well, which I don't think is going to be a problem for them.
yeah,
But at least for this, you're dealing with three superstars still. So you still have to take it seriously as far as putting an end to it. And right now they're up. Jaden McDaniels has damn near 10 points. Minnesota's up 13-9 right now. But Anthony Edwards has just been an absolute monster. But let's see how he does in a closeout game. And let's see what kind of
yeah.
superstar performance we can get for him. Because that's where people become superstars is when you put an end to someone's season here. But I love it, man. Watching the Suns just get absolutely pummeled for the first three games has just tickled me so much. Watching KD, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, Grayson Allen got hurt. I'm smiling from ear to ear right now because we could possibly get Kevin Durant too. The more these superstars have bad games, the more chances the Warriors are to have to land
Oh my
someone
God,
to
here
give
we
it
go.
one more shot to win a championship. Hey man, I gotta root
Here
for
we
something
go.
here.
Now
Okay?
all of a sudden,
I
now
gotta root for
Kevin
something.
Durant just got traded there last season. Now he's leaving again
He's
to
going,
go to
he's
the
leaving again.
back to the Warriors.
Kevin Durant is like the Temptations. Papa was a Rolling Stone. He's been from city to city,
Oh
team to
man.
team, man, and it's all gonna end with him coming back to Golden State, winning a championship, and the big three retiring one more time
I
here.
like
I
how you
wouldn't
turn
mind
this
that.
into the Warriors. I
I
don't know.
know. Dude, wait until the next conversation. With every superstar that is struggling right now, will end up in Warrior
Oh
uniform. I'm
man.
hoping for it.
Oh, man,
um,
can we put the big three thing to bed? I mean, teams have got to
no,
stop doing this, man.
it's never going to bed.
I
That's the
mean,
thing.
it doesn't
It's
work.
never going to bed.
It
I mean,
doesn't
for the
work,
Warriors,
man.
it did. It
Yeah,
only
you
worked
guys
for
had
one
an
team, and that was
estab.
Golden State.
Yeah, but I'm talking about a situation where they're putting players together that did not play on the same team. Now, Devin Booker played there,
Oh,
yes, but Bradley Beal and KD came from somewhere. Same thing with the Nets, where all those
yeah.
guys came from different teams. I mean, you're just assembling a big three for a team is a lot different from with the Warriors. The Warriors just added one guy. They already had the
All it
formula to
took.
win, so they won a championship already. And so adding Kevin Durant was just pie on top. It was just the cherry on top. You know what I mean? So I think the whole idea of putting three guys together, similar to what the Celtics did with Ray Allen and and Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett, something like that. It hasn't worked since then. Those guys only won one championship anyway, and I just think teams need to
Yeah.
stop. Teams need to stop it. They need to stop. Seriously.
I love it though. Nate Becerra goes definitely would love that. Go Warriors. Let me ask you this, Nate. With all the superstars that are going to be available, LeBron, KD, Joel Embiid, and Giannis, which one would look best in a Warrior uniform? Out of those four, who you taking? Who are the Warriors going to just throw the entire team at to bring one of those players in? Out of those four here, I'll leave that up to the chat to discuss that here. Can we talk about the series that is pretty damn good right now?
Oh yeah,
I know you don't want to talk about it because it's your
I
it's your
watched it.
rival here,
Yeah, I watched it. It was
but the
good.
Clippers and Mavs are putting up a hell of a series right now, bro. I am enjoying this at the
Yeah,
highest level right now. I think this is the series of the first round.
yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, the Clippers had a 20 something point lead today, and maybe
Yep.
even 30. And I
Oh,
think the Mavs cut
it
it
was a
down.
31 point lead.
There you go.
31 point lead today.
Mavs cut it down to about 17, I think, at the half, and then went on to tie the game. From there on out in the fourth, it was a back and forth game. Huge shots from big name players. Paul George was huge in this game,
Yeah.
early and late. And Kyrie Irving hit a couple of shots at the end of the game, a three, and then a layup where there was like 50 people on him. I don't know how in the world he got that ball up and in. But yeah, it was just some great play, man. You're watching great scorers score.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. And one thing we should talk about is, Kawhi was out today. Now, keep in mind, Kawhi played the previous game, which didn't bode well. What do you think about the last time Kawhi was out? Remember, they went all the way to the Western Conference Finals. Um, we talked about the big three thing. And do you think, I mean, I'm not going to say Kawhi Leonard makes them worse, but at the same time, does this team have they got an equal chance to win with or without the guy? Is he really doing anything for him at this
It's
this
it's
this stage of his career?
it's hard to tell because I mean, you need him on the court, but the Clippers show that they don't need him on the court. The one game he played in the series, they lost.
Yeah,
And the rest of the games, they've actually looked a lot better there. I still think he's a valuable piece in this offense here,
yeah,
but the Clippers are doing something where they don't need to rely on Kawhi Leonard here, which is a shame because I still think he's got amazing talent here. But it's what are you going to do with a guy who played all the regular season and now he's all of a sudden hurt for the postseason? Like none of
it's
this makes sense here. He said all of a
every
sudden now he's got a aggravated injury that's holding him out from the postseason, but you just played 75 games in the postseason, which is a record for you to begin with, you
yeah,
know? So all of a sudden now this injury just appears out of nowhere.
it's questionable at best, man. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, Kawhi Leonard's been injured for the better part of the last 4 years. I mean, he's done this before. He missed the playoffs last year. I believe before that he had missed some amount of time, in the playoffs as well. And he's starting to become Chris Paul, to where when you get to this part of the season, you kind of know he's just not going to make it, and it really is starting to look
Yeah.
like he's one of those players that cannot make a deep playoff run unless you keep him in a hyperbolic time chamber, or for the entire regular season, and then open him out of the thing, like Goku in the playoffs. But because other than that, he's just not durable enough to last. And I think that's what we're seeing and what we've seen for a while now, and it's
Yeah.
one of the reasons why, as high as everybody was on Kawhi Leonard after winning a championship with the Raptors, I think that's it. Yeah, I don't think I don't think he's going to be comparable to many of the other big name players that you're going to think of 20 years from now, or 10 years from now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's too many other good players out there. There's Giannis Antetokounmpo, who's won a championship playing in Milwaukee. If Tatum somehow gets off and they win a championship, you really start to think about, well, how good was Kawhi Leonard really? I mean, he was good, but comparably in the history of basketball, not
Yeah, I don't think we could diminish. He's got two NBA Finals MVPs to
yeah,
to put under his belt here, but I think just the lack of being there for your team in the postseason, it hurts because just imagine if he's with the Clippers this entire time. When he was with Toronto, he was the vocal point, and they beat the Warriors with that roster for their first
injuries,
title
yeah,
here.
because of injuries, yeah,
I mean, the injuries were there, but at the same time, I'm not going to diminish that because the Warriors won their first title with Kyrie Irving being hurt and who's that big old goofy white center that they had? He Timothy Mozgov.
Oh, Timothy Moscow. Wow.
Yeah. And so they're saying that, injuries are part of the game, but you still got to go out and win a championship, and you still got to be at your top point. And when he was with the Raptors, he was at his top. And so you saw the potential of what he could do for a team. The Clippers have not received that from him, and that's the most upsetting thing about it they're here for. But let me ask you this, T. It's tied 2-2. Both teams have won on the road. Who edges this series out, and what is the reason why they're able to get this to move on to the second round?
I don't
Who
know.
are you giving it to?
I want the Mavs to win because I don't like the Clippers, so I don't want them to win. Obviously, the Clip Show, not interested. But the Mavs, I think the Mavs can come out of this series on top because they have Luka Doncic and they've got Kyrie Irving, and sometimes they forget to play defense, but no matter what, they got a shooter's chance to win every single game, just like the Clippers do. And I don't know if Paul George can repeat what he did early in this game and the next game. But hey, they did win on Dallas's home floor, so you got to give them credit for that, just as the Mavs did to them. And so I'm gonna pick this thing to go all the way to 7 with the Mavs winning Game 7.
Oh, on the road for Game 7, taking the Mavs there.
Yeah, why not?
And then let's get caught up in the chat here. Nathan says Embiid definitely for the Warriors here. I think that would be quite scary for the league here. And then he is asking what do we think of the draft? We are definitely talking about the draft as soon as we get through our basketball playoffs. So stick around with us, Nathan. We are going to be talking about the NFL draft because there were some picks that are really, if I had hair, I'd be scratching my head right now to say the least.
Yeah, man. Look, the Embiid, that sounds nice, but he's the same like Kawhi Leonard. He's not gonna play a full season. He never has.
We just need him in the postseason, bro. We just need him there. That's all.
It doesn't work. Go get Giannis. If you had to choose between him and Giannis, take Giannis. Okay, Giannis.
I would take Giannis.
Giannis is injured.
Giannis
and fair point. Giannis is injured right now, but generally is a fairly durable player and plays most of the regular season. I don't think you want a guy as talented as Embiid is. He missed an entire month of basketball this year. All right, and then he showed up for the playoffs, and they might not go anywhere. So just just be aware. I don't know about Embiid. He's not as reliable sometimes.
We talking about the dud of the last Western Conference playoffs?
Yeah,
what we got?
I mean, we'll go through this one quickly. The Thunder, they're better than the Pelicans. And the Pelicans are not a. The
Pelicans suck. Jesus Lord, they suck.
Zion blew out his whole leg. He's gone. Nobody knows. He's not coming back. Surprise! Zion injured. Whoop-de-doo. So I guess we'll see him next season, or maybe not. Maybe they'll trade him Maybe they'll actually trade him this time.
I wouldn't be shocked if Zion's working his way towards being the biggest bust in one of the biggest busts in NBA history here, man. That was just so much talent, and we can't get it for a full season to say here, and even in the playoffs. So yeah. I think the Pelicans' biggest should be able to get this last win at home. I think the Thunder will end up winning this in 5 as well here. They will struggle with closing a team out on the road here, but yeah, this series has not been fun to watch. I like watching the Thunder get up and down the court, but in all honesty, I need it to be competitive. Not once has it been any sort of close to competitiveness here.
I think the Thunder sweep this thing. I think it's over. The Pelicans don't have the greatest home crowd. There's not a bunch of people running to go watch Pelican games, and I just think that they're just not a team that does enough defensively to keep the Thunder from doing what they want. They don't have the firepower without Zion. They had Brandon Ingram come back after being injured pretty much the remainder of the season, so he's not completely in shape. CJ McCollum has been atrocious. Unfortunately, hasn't had that great of a run this season. The only guy who's been playing great, I think, is Troy Murphy. Is it not Troy Murphy? What is this kid's name? Trey. Thank you. That's why I keep thinking Troy. Trey Murphy, great player. But yeah.
He wasn't. Don't you ever say that again.
No, I said Trey, not Troy.
Oh,
Troy Murphy was trash. I remember Troy Murphy.
Garbage.
He was a warrior of warriors.
That's definitely true. Jesus Christ, that was terrible, man.
Yeah, it was.
Nate comes back, says CJ is washed. I think after he lost Dame in Portland here, it was kind of over for him. He's not a team leader. I don't think he's a guy who can carry an organization.
No, not
I
at
feel
all.
like he's a good number two option. But right now he is the number one option on that Pelicans team, and I just don't think that fits his role for him here. So
No,
he
not at
may
all.
have to he's got to go somewhere else where he could be kind of that Robin to Batman here. I don't want him in Golden State. That's one
I was waiting
superstar.
for it. I was waiting for it. Oh, so he's
Hold
going to
on,
the
let me make
Warriors?
that clear.
He's going to the
No,
Warriors?
he is
No,
not
he's
going to
not.
the Warriors
Oh,
here,
okay.
to
All
say
right.
the least. Here, as you can see, we tried this Chris Paul experiment. I mean, it was nice. It worked for a little bit, but let's be honest, he ain't coming back again here. So
No.
I think he just needs to he's got to find a good team to be a number two on.
Oh man, CP3 is gonna end up as the Lakers' backup. It's gonna be like the old whenever we remember when
Y'all,
that time we brought
you,
in Carmelo Anthony and all these old
Hey,
old
at
people.
least at this time, you guys can get us. Remember the Lakers? The Lakers were going to try to do that for the first time, and David Stern shot that down
Yeah, he
because there
did.
was no balance in the NBA. And then look what happened after that. Now there's zero balance in this
First
league
off,
here. Everything is Western Conference
that's
heavy.
bull crap because the Boston Celtics were able to build their big three shortly
They
thereafter.
literally
So
beat
I don't know what the
exactly.
hell he was doing other than being a hater. Forget. I
Oh
mean, God,
man,
God rest his soul, but he was being a hater.
he was a great. He was one of the great
Commissioners, yeah, David
commissioners
Stern,
of this
yeah,
day.
absolutely.
I think Adam Silver's doing a great job with the NBA here. But I think David Stern really set the precedent on what it takes to run a very entertaining league here, and he did a great job of that. So rest in peace to his soul here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then Nathan comes back. CP wasn't too terrible. He wasn't, but I mean, he was there to basically help the young guys develop, and which we saw. But winning a championship, let's not fool ourselves here.
Yeah,
Chris Paul barely survived that year. He went to the finals against the Bucks.
he ain't.
He
He
was
ain't.
he's not doing it at 38, dude. There's no way.
Yeah.
No way.
Think of some of the backup guards you guys had. I mean, you think of Sean Livingston, Leandro Barbosa. I mean, you guys had guys that could legitimately come off the bench and contribute right away and put up points. And so that's the type of veterans that just aren't available on the market anymore. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
those guys just aren't out there. So Chris Paul is a little long in the tooth. He's old. He's not going to get his championship. I guess we feel bad for him. I don't know. I'm just curious how
I
the
feel
Warriors
bad for
fan,
him. I do.
the Warriors fans
I
you
mean,
guys used to hate this guy.
don't get me wrong. There's still a small part of my heart that really still hates this guy here. But the matter of fact is when you separate that, you got to also look. There was greatness. Chris Paul was one
Yeah,
of the
of course.
greatest
He's the
point
best point
guards to
guard.
ever
Yeah,
play this game.
absolutely.
So you want to see those guys end their career with some sort of jewelry on their hand. Unfortunately, it's not going to be for Chris. I hate LeBron James with the passion here, but when you look at his career and you look at what he's done for the league on and off the court, mad respect for it here. Same thing with Kobe Bryant. I hate his ass to this day here, but watch what he did for the league and
Yeah.
watch what he did for his team as well. You don't see that kind of talent that often, so you appreciate it at the end. But I still hate Chris Paul, slightly here for his time with the Rockets here and those
Man,
playoff battles
all
here. So I
the
still got that.
Clippers too, man. All
In the
those
Clippers too, the
throwing his
stupid
head
ass Lob
backwards,
City,
flopping all over the place.
You know,
Oh my gosh,
you know.
I didn't like. Hey, I was so happy when we had Rondo because I knew it was gonna be a fight. I loved it when we had Rondo
Oh,
and we played
that
them.
was a good fight.
It was
That was a
awesome.
good fight.
I loved it. Loved
Rondo
it.
two-pieced him. He two-pieced him before Chris Paul could get a punch. That was so great. That was
Oh
awesome.
man. Oh boy. All right. Well, let's move over to the game that B picked as an upset. We got the Celtics and the Heat. So the Celtics are up 2-1. Man, I gotta tell you, the Heat put on a 3-point clinic. I mean, they went nutso from the 3-point line in game 2 and managed to steal that game. But man, with game 3 was like over pretty quickly. So I'm starting to feel like that one game was more of it was definitely a surprise, but it's not something that they'll be able to maintain, obviously, throughout the series.
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler, I don't know where he is or what he's doing, but it isn't playing basketball. So if
No,
that's
it's
going to
not.
continue to be the case, this series is over, and I think it's over in 5, man.
If it takes 23s, for the Heat to beat the Celtics. This pick is south as far as it gets. I was hoping Jimmy Butler would be back, but honestly, it makes no sense for him to really rush back at this point. I mean,
Yeah, not if
it
they're gonna get
just
whooped. Yeah.
they're just not playing well here, and I thought they would, and we honestly thought they would because it's the Heat. Once the Heat get into the playoffs, it gets out of control after that. But I think now they seem to be well tamed from the Boston Celtics here.
Yeah.
The Celtics are showing why they're the number one seed. Um, it's been a consistent series for them. Nothing dominating here. It's just they've played consistent basketball where they haven't really had to flex what they've done all season against the Heat here. They've been able to just kind of coast through this series and get by here. So the Heat,
Yeah. It's a wrap,
if
bro.
they could if they could win the game tomorrow night, I'd be super happy here. But let's be honest, I ain't banking on it to
I
say
mean,
the least.
they got to
Here,
get Jimmy Butler to come out the woodwork. If they get a
I,
Jimmy back, now you got a puncher's chance. But if he's not in the game, then they got to pull out the magic wand and hit 33s. Ain't gonna happen again, more than likely. Especially against a pretty stout defensive team in the Celtics. And by the way, we're gonna talk about this next team, but it's fun being a Laker fan and then you also being a Warriors fan. Isn't it fun watching teams actually play defense? And I'm saying the Warriors don't play defense.
I love it.
Well,
love it.
The Warriors, Draymond plays defense. The Warriors don't. Yeah. But it's in the Lakers. We suck at defense. I'm not even gonna lie. Anthony Davis is great. The rest of the Lakers, LeBron gave Aaron Gordon 30 points. Let's just put it like that. Yeah. And most of them were because LeBron didn't block him out, didn't box him out, or just lost him. And he went up. He just lost him on the cut. He just went for a alley right behind his back. He never saw him. And so so to go from that and watching teams like the Celtics and the Heat play, it's actually a joy for me. As much as I love offensive basketball, I love seeing guys scramble on defense, playing defense correctly, having a game plan for how to play defense, actually rotating whenever they double. I mean, this is great stuff. This is stuff my team cannot seem to learn how to do.
This is what I enjoy the most. There's only two things that I really look forward to when I'm watching good teams play defense: how they get off a screen, whether when they know how to either go over or under the screen, knowing who your shooters are, so you don't go sitting there buying pump fakes. The third, right. This is what kills me the most here. When teams are getting an easy layup, they do not make it easy for them.
Right.
When you foul a guy, they make sure it's a foul, so you're not giving up 2 points. Send the guy to the line and make him earn his 2 points here. Yeah. I don't care if you're Steph Curry, you're some of the greatest free throw shooters of all time. Curry misses free throws here and there. So I'd rather take that risk than give up an easy 2. And then if you're going to foul him, make sure he doesn't get a shot off. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you. I mean,
you just foul him. Just grab him.
Please.
That's all it is. I'm not saying, give him a Draymond. Don't punch him. Don't go kicking him in the nuts or anything like that.
Yeah.
But don't let him get the easiest basket. What's the point of fouling him if you're going to give him that basket here? Why give up a 3-point play when you can just have 2 and save yourself the extra point there? Yeah. Drives me nuts. You see teams like the Celtics not allow that to happen. So it's good to watch defense. And then the next team that also doesn't allow that to happen is the New York Knicks. I'll let you kick that off there.
Yeah, the Knicks and the Sixers. So this had every opportunity to be an upset with the Sixers getting Embiid back, Tyrese Maxey playing well. I'm not even gonna mention Tobias Harris. He ain't been doing anything. But they're a team that had been at the top of the Eastern Conference for a good portion of the season. They lost Embiid, lost their footing. Embiid's back now, so you're thinking, okay, all systems go against a Knicks team that lost Julius Randle. But, man, the one thing, and we just talked about it, watching the Knicks play reminds me of watching the old Knicks play. I mean, just the scramble, the hustle, DiVincenzo and Hart. These guys are tenacious defenders. They're out there defending big. It doesn't matter. Whoever they get switched on, doesn't matter.
Yep.
They're playing up. They're not giving space. They're getting in guys' faces. They're getting in lanes. They're getting in passing pockets. They're keeping their hands busy. They're doing every single thing you want from your 3 and what folks are looking for from a 3-and-D guy. The Lakers, the Warriors are. We would love to have a guy that's a two-way player, a 3-and-D guy. The Lakers, we don't have one. We only got guys that can play offense. Okay.
I think
the Knicks have two of them. Knicks have two guys, and that's not even including Anunoby, who can also handle his business. And oh man, I lost his name. His first name is Precious. I can't think of his last name. It's an interesting first name.
Achua.
Precious Achua comes in. Mitchell Robinson goes down. He comes in. He holds his ground. He's guarding Embiid. They double Embiid. Like I said, they double him. They get to their rotations. They get to the rebounds. They had 1,000. It seemed like 1,000 offensive rebounds in the game today. Just hustle. Just straight pure hustle. And it's great to watch teams play like that because, and I think we've said this before, but it's like watching a college pro team. You know, everybody's just doing their job to the best of their ability. Now, Jalen Brunson ain't a college player. He's pro and went out there and dropped 47. I mean, the man went crazy and was taking.
But he also plays defense.
Exactly.
And I don't think that's talked about a lot with his game here.
Yeah,
he's an offensive genius. Right. He really is. But man, that guy is also really good on the defensive end, and he goes and he attacks. And even though he got in foul trouble earlier today, he was still the same defensive mind player here for it. So you have to really appreciate that kind. Imagine if we get the Knicks and the Celtics in a series, 7-game series, with the way that they're playing defense. Yeah. It's going to be an old school Eastern Conference, 88-86 kind of game. And
Pistons,
in a league,
Pistons Heat,
exactly.
OG, yep.
When in an era now where the league is changing to more of an offensive game here, you have two teams who are priding themselves deeply on defense. And not saying that any team in the league doesn't do it, but the attention that those two teams pay for to be that much better, it shows that you can still hold the team under 100 points, which is what they do.
Yeah.
And so when it comes to the ugly games where you rely on your defense a little more, you have to sit there and go, hey, you know what? I would take a Celtics-Knicks game any day just so you can see top-notch defense here. That would be amazing to watch here.
No, I completely agree with you. I would love to see that. I love when teams play hard, foul hard, and just say, hey, man, it's a part of the game and keep it moving. And I think that the Knicks have shown themselves under. Now, we can't forget their coach is Tom Thibodeau. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He runs his players into the ground.
I don't know if the new booty people are familiar with Tom Thibodeau, but he coached quite the defensive team in Chicago some time ago with a young Derrick Rose and a lot of other players who were there and capable of making things, playing hard on the defensive end, Joakim Noah, and others. And so this is a part of his DNA as a coach. And it takes a while for teams to play under him. Some players don't even want to play for him because of how hard he coaches players on the defensive end. But what you're seeing now is a product of when guys buy in, they're playing at such a high level and understanding what they should be doing and executing it. There isn't a better brand of basketball to watch, like we just talked about defensively, when you can watch a team make those adjustments, get steals, get undersized guards, getting rebounds, guys playing out of position but still able to hold their ground. You just don't see that tenacity anymore. Nowadays, when guys get mismatched, they just give up. They just give up. They just get back down under the rim and get dunked on, or back down under the rim and get a layup just tossed up right over their heads. Not these guys. These guys push back. They push hard, or they're going to foul the crap out of you. And kudos to them.
Yeah, man, that would be a really good series to watch here. So let's hope we can get that. I would love to see that in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Oh yeah,
something like that there. And here's what would be really good if the refs really didn't dictate it. I want them to step in when they need to step in, but I like it when they let a lot of shit go underneath the hoop here.
Yeah.
Let these guys figure it out here. I'm not saying allow a headlock or kick to the nuts, but let the game be physical.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? At least just let it be physical. Step in when you need to step in. Don't let no fights. Let some pushing and shoving happen. We all love it. I mean, look what happened in the Indiana Milwaukee game. We had a couple instances. Bobby Porter, or was it Bobby Porter Jr.?
Yeah.
I forgot the guy with the buggy eyes.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, slapped homeboy from
Bobby
the Pacers,
Portis.
got out here. Bobby Portis, thank you.
Yep.
You know, and so you can allow little physicality here, but just don't let it escalate. Just know where you need to step in. If we get the Knicks and the Celtics, I only want one ref on the court, and he's there not to allow a fight. Everyone else needs to stay away.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm feeling that. Yep. And on the 76ers side, we already talked about what the Knicks are doing defensively and how tenacious they're playing. And it just doesn't seem like the 76ers have enough grit to hang in there with them. They beat them a couple of times in some very close games, and they've continued to do that. And to be quite honest with you, as a team, that can be absolutely demoralizing. You know, it's one thing to get your butt kicked. It's another thing to lose by 1 point, 2 point, 3 points, a few games in a row. And that's what's happening. You know, even in the game today, it was a close game all the way up until the end. They end up winning 97-92. The Sixers get one big win in game 3. The other games are close. The first game 1, 6-point difference, but that was a close game. Game 2, a phenomenal game.
I think they got hosed. I think they got hosed.
Yeah, with that ref at the end of the game held his whistle.
That was terrible. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. He stepped in at the wrong time here, but the 76ers didn't benefit from that here. And so you figured when they were going home, they would win 2 games. That doesn't seem to be the case here. And honestly, this is going to be a very tough challenge to come up from 3-1 on a good against a good defensive team here. So Joel Embiid, when your season's done, give Mike Dunleavy Jr. a call.
Oh my God.
Jonathan Kuminga.
All right.
Who else? Let's see. Jonathan Kuminga.
Hot garbage.
You guys can have
some garbage.
Let's see here. You can have Pajemski.
Some garbage.
We'll give you 2 more first round picks. In the future here. We'll protect them here for you, and we'll take Joel Embiid here to be the center point of our team here. I mean, I would still want Giannis, but if we can get Joel Embiid, we get Joel Embiid.
Well, I guess you've got an ulterior motive, obviously, to seeing the 76ers lose, which is probably what's going to happen. This next series, I mean, we got the Magic and the Cavs playing each other in the 4 or 5 spot in the East, and I'm going to be honest with you. I've only watched like one of these games. The Cavs. What I can tell you is the Cavs looked like they were ready to put the Magic away until the Magic got home and they got to business. They've won both home games and now it's going back. So I'll be interested to see how the Cavs respond. But the Magic is like I guess everybody's sleeping on them. So they came out and they handled business. Paolo Banchero had a huge game. But I don't know how this game is going to go. I actually picked the Cavs. I think I picked the Cavs to win in 7, but or it might have been less games, which I don't know. But
I think I took the Magic. I took all the underdogs. Dumb picks.
Yeah, you took all the underdogs.
Outside of a couple here.
No, you did.
What doesn't get talked about though is the Magic's defense. They're a young and up and coming team. They actually do play some really good defense here. Not to the level of the Celtics and the Knicks here, but it keeps them in the game here. I haven't really watched a whole lot of this series here because it just didn't really jump off the chart here. But hey, man, we got a 2-2 series here. Both teams have won at home. They took care of what they need to take care of. So there's that pivotal game 5 of who takes home court advantage going forward here. So it's a toss up. Honestly, whoever wins this series isn't really going to be looking too well in the next series here. So good luck to those two.
It could go either way. It could go either way. It'll go either way. And we'll tell you all about it. Just, let's move on to this one because you did pick this one as an upset. Now it's starting to look like you may have been right. The Pacers have a 3-1 lead over the Bucks. Not only that, but we don't even know if Giannis and Dame are going to play. We don't know what's going to happen here. So
dude, this is over.
There's a chance that if these two guys do not suit up, this series is over. And the Bucks will be going home after trading for Damian Lillard at the beginning of the season to extend their championship hopes. they will be sent home packing, only winning one game in the first round of playoffs. I mean,
it's not worth Giannis to come back for this. It really isn't.
Gosh.
Let me put it to you like this: the Warriors rushed KD back in those NBA
true.
finals, and look what happened. He ends up tearing his Achilles here. You got to look at the future here. A first round exit isn't really worth it, but then now you get to see the market for the Golden State Warriors to go get Giannis
Oh my God! Here we go again. What the hell, man? Yeah, okay. Giannis is not going anywhere. They just traded for Dame. I'm sure they're going to give it at least another season. I do think the fit has not been there at all. Giannis is not a pick and roll player. Even though he would think it would work, he just isn't used to playing basketball like that. He's used to playing 5-out basketball where he's the focal point and he can make all the decisions for the most part. And so I don't know. And then Dame. I mean, I watched the game. He had the one good game against the Pacers, where, they got the win. But I don't know, man. He's starting to look like a player who is past his prime, and I think his mid-range game isn't quite what it used to be. It looks like for some reason, it's a lot of either getting to the rim and getting fouled, or not being able to finish, or 3-point shots. And so
Can we eliminate half of his points and then just say the Pacers were going to win this series, sweep this series from the Bucks? I'll be the first one to tell you that right now. It took a hero effort from Damian Lillard for them to get past the Pacers in that first game. And look how this series has played out otherwise. They're down 3-1 now.
Yeah. It's probably over. The injuries. I don't get it.
That's how much Giannis meant to this team here. That's how much of an impact he has to this team here.
Yeah.
So, this isn't like the Damian Lillard in Portland. This is, he's not carrying a team anymore. Damian Lillard is the number 2 guy for a lot of teams here. You can't ask him to carry a team. You just can't. So, it sucks, but I mean, it's benefiting for the free agent market. For teams that are in the West Coast and the Bay Area looking for a superstar player.
Oh my goodness! All right, well,
I'm never letting it go. I'm not letting it go. Okay.
Moving on. We move on to the NFL and the NFL draft, which is sometimes great and is sometimes not. And
here you go, Nate.
Let's talk about it. So we got 3 quarterbacks that went in the first few picks. Starting with none other than a guy who spent most of last season being mediocre as hell. Caleb Martin with number 1 overall. To
Caleb Williams, not Caleb Martin.
Caleb Williams. Too many Calebs, Caleb Williams goes to the Chicago Bears, and hopefully they find a way to make something of his career. The Bears have been trying their best. They obviously, everybody remembers the Mitchell Trubisky pickup. They've been just crap.
I can't stand Caleb Williams. Okay, he went to USC.
Okay,
all right, I had to watch him torch my Stanford for 2-3 years. Right. So go paint your fingernails. And all I'm gonna say is good luck getting traded after 3 years, because this Chicago experiment ain't gonna work. So fight on and find your ass out of Chicago in about 3 years. All right, that's all I got to say about Caleb Williams here. My bad. That was hella personal. My bad.
Yeah, no, it was definitely it was for sure personal. For sure.
Jaden Daniels goes to the Commanders.
Yes,
that's an interesting one.
The Commanders spent the latter part of their season just saying we don't care anymore. If you remember, they started off fairly well, and I thought they were a pretty competitive team.
Boy, are we wrong.
But they weren't, and they started firing folks like hotcakes, and they start firing and trading folks. So they started trading their team, and I don't know what direction this team is going in, but yes, Jaden McDaniels will join the Washington Commanders, or Washington football team, or whatever the hell they're calling themselves now. I don't know. I didn't really watch Jane. Well, I think I've seen Jaden Daniels play. I'm curious. It'll be curious to see if he can have the same type of impact that we're seeing from some of the other quarterbacks that we saw last year, including your boy with the Texans. I'm like losing everybody's name.
CJ Stroud.
CJ Stroud.
CJ Stroud. Nathan, I hope you're collecting your CJ Stroud cards, man. Dude, his cards are going for a lot of money right now. Stupid amount of dollars to be spent on that. It's ridiculous.
As they should, because that guy has an even better offensive round of this season. And then here we go. Drake May.
Dude, this is Mac Jones 2.0. This is what I thought of. This is what I thought of when they drafted.
Guy kind of looks like him too. I don't know. It's just
Mac Jones 2.0, and Bill Belichick's not even there for that pick. No, I guess it's still the Patriot way, man.
This is garbage, man. We could just say it's garbage, right? I mean, the Patriots are going to be trash next year. I hope the guy hope the guy has fun spending half the time on his back. And it's whatever. The Patriots suck. I hate the Patriots. I hope that Belichick hits his big toe on the corner of a wood dresser every time he goes to the bathroom.
Jeez, I mean, you know what? I'm not going to be mad at that because I just gave a whole Caleb Williams rant. So yeah,
there you go, right?
But I know we were going to talk about the Atlanta Falcons pick, which was outrageous here, but I just want to touch on the Arizona Cardinals going out and giving Marvin Harrison Jr. I feel bad for the man because Kyle Murray cannot see over the offensive line. So he's not going to be able to see Marvin Harrison Jr. throw him the ball. It's going to look like me out there trying to look over the lineman, trying to throw him the ball. So, it's going to be fun to watch. If anyone has a chance, go watch Marvin Harrison Jr.'s college tape. It's legit. I think he's better than his daddy.
That's a great pickup.
It's a great pickup. He can't, he doesn't really have a quarterback that's going to get him the ball because he can't see over his lineman.
Yeah, well, I mean, we say that, but the guy, I mean, in fairness, Kyler Murray had a pretty good start to his career, okay? He ran into some injury troubles. Their team bombed one season where they were basically the number one seed in the entire NFL and then just destroyed themselves. That was like 2 or 3 years ago. There's an opportunity for them to be good still. I mean, the Rams are getting any younger. They're right. I mean, the Seahawks, they don't really know who their quarterback is going to be, or at least they're trying to not know who their quarterback is going to be. They drafted a quarterback, obviously. It's up for grabs. Now, the Niners are going to be the cream of the crop in that division for however long they choose to be. But that wild card spot, hell, the Cardinals have just as good a chance as anyone else. And I really think that, that's a legitimate pickup if you're going to continue to believe in Kyler Murray. So kudos to them. I think that's a great pickup. I think he's going to have himself a nice little season because as much as we're dogging Kyler Murray, he does have some talent. And if Marvin Harrison Jr. can get open, which I know he can, then he's going to see the ball a lot. So it's going to be good for his career overall. So good for him.
Michael Wilson's on the other end of that too. He had a really solid year for the Arizona Cardinals as well. So I give him a little credit for that there. But it's Kyler Murray. He was wearing a sports bra while in training camp. Okay, let's not forget.
Let's hope that he removed it. Let's hope he removed it for this next season because it didn't work last season at all.
All right, man. Can we talk about this pick that the Falcons made, which is making no sense?
Let me get this story right. The Falcons traded up, right? Or were they already in that spot?
They traded up for this.
I believe they traded up. Intentionally went to draft a quarterback. So let's talk about it. Let's go.
They just signed Kirk Cousins for over $100 million. I think it was like their 3-4 year deal for Kirk Cousins.
Kirk's a billionaire.
And then they decide to go get Michael Penix Jr., quarterback from Washington, after already signing a quarterback. And this is how dumb this pick looks. The owner of the Falcons went to go talk to his GM going, what in the hell are you doing with this number 8 pick?
Oh, man.
Well, why are you going to get a quarterback when you just damn near signed one less than a month ago?
Right.
And then here's the worst part. You don't tell Kirk Cousins that you're going to get a quarterback. And now he's blindsided that you went to go get a quarterback. Dude, when I heard this draft pick, I almost threw up at my desk at work. I was like, what are you doing? What are you doing with this pick,
They
man? What are your thoughts on it, man? What
they
are your thoughts on that?
literally just told Kirk Cousins like they're playing the worst game of like I don't even know what to call it, man. Like they first it's like you're the man, you're our guy, here's the money, let's do this. It went from that to you're competing for a starting job, basically. Because no matter what they say, even if they try to smooth it over and say, oh, well, Kurt, we're just looking out for our future, yada, yada, yada. I guarantee you, the first time Kurt goes down or the first time he has a bad game, you're always going to have this rookie, this new toy over your shoulder that's waiting to step in. And Michael Penix Jr. I think he's a solid pick and played pretty well in Washington. So I don't like it from a perspective of, like you said, from a leadership perspective, if we're talking about the Atlanta Falcons. Obviously, the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing. And you certainly don't throw $100 million at a guy and then turn around and tell him, yeah, well, you might have to compete for your job. And so I just it doesn't make any sense at all. As you just said, B, why waste the money on Kirk Cousins if you knew you were going to draft a quarterback? Why not just go ahead, draft the quarterback, and start from scratch? Yeah. I mean, you weren't playing that well last season anyway. I mean, you had a couple I don't know.
You're not a playoff team, so why are you doing something like this? And now here's the worst part. A top 10 player is getting a pretty good substantial amount of money in the draft. So you're going to invest about $200 million in total on two quarterbacks that have different styles of play. Right. Penix Jr. is a mobile quarterback. Kirk Cousins is a pocket quarterback. You just made this offense more complex than it needs to be. It's mind blowing.
They don't know what they're doing. They have no idea what they're doing. Well, let's get caught up on the chat here. Nathan's keep going strong here. Where do we leave off?
He goes, Bears. When we were making fun of Caleb Williams here, Bears is the issue. He's pulled a few CJ Stroud cards. He does agree with us that, it's a Mac 2.0 for the Patriots here, but he does think he's going to be better than Mac. So let me ask you this, Nathan. Mac Jones took the Patriots to the playoffs for the first time. Does Drake May do the same thing here? Then Nathan agrees with Larry, that they got Marvin Harrison Jr. That is like Larry Fitzgerald. Yep. Fitzgerald, and then he says, I would have taken a Bowers if I was Atlanta. And now let's talk about Bowers, because where did he go?
No, we end up going to the Raiders.
Exactly here. Raiders. So let's explain. 2 tight end room now. You guys already had a good tight end to begin with.
We did. I think we were trying to up the offense, up the ante on the offensive end. I don't know. I have to take a look to see. I haven't really looked at a lot of tape of this guy, but from what folks are saying, he's the top tight end in college football. So I'll be curious to see how that plays out. I think what I'm most curious about is our quarterback situation, and I think we still have we have two guys competing for the starting job. Gardner Minshew should be the guy I think that wins the job, but you still have Aiden McConnell who's also competing for it.
Yep.
And so that's the part that kind of worries me. I didn't really watch. I gotta be honest. I didn't watch Minshew play a lot for the Colts because they're obviously in the beginning they started off with Richardson, who ended up getting hurt, right? And then Minshew comes in, he plays fairly well. But I don't know, man. I just feel like the Raiders, we got to figure out our quarterback situation before we can kind of move this thing forward. And maybe Minshew comes in and he impresses and does his thing. But I was really hoping that we would have a shot at some of these veteran quarterbacks like Kirk Cousins, who no longer needs to play for the Atlanta Falcons anymore, and just kind of give us an opportunity to maybe compete right now. But maybe that's not the goal. I don't know, but we'll see. But I think it's a solid pickup. You could always use another tight end. Although, like as was mentioned earlier, we already have a fairly good tight end in Michael Myers. Myers.
Yeah, Myers.
So it's just I don't know. I never get too high on rookies, man. I mean, we're the Raiders. We usually don't draft very well. I mean, to be honest, like the last big time draft pick we had was like Khalil Mack and Charles Woodson, right? Nnamdi Asomugha. I mean, we had some good ones, but we've also had some pretty rough ones too. Jamarcus Russell.
Well,
and others that yet shall be named. So we'll see.
Let's talk about one bad draft pick, and that came from the team in the Bay Area. The San Francisco 49ers have sent a clear message to the entire fan base that one wide receiver will not be a part of this team anymore. We just don't know who it's going to be yet.
Yeah.
But the Niners went out to go get the kid from Florida here. I can't remember his name right now.
There, I'll look it up.
In the first round with the 31st pick, you do not spend a first round pick on a player like that unless he's going to start.
Ricky Pearsall.
Yeah, very good slot wide receiver from the University of Florida here. But this is a shot at Brandon Ayuk and Debo, who have voiced frustration about contracts, to say the least.
Yeah.
So the Niners went out and got a wide receiver in the first round, and this is a disaster waiting to happen. I've said it before. The Niners have to find a way to break the bank if they want to keep everyone happy. And this ain't going to keep everyone happy when you go out getting a guy like this here. So let me ask you this, T. Nate says Debo is gone. I think Brandon Ayuk is gone. Who do you think is going to be gone?
Well, I don't know, man. I mean, it kind of has to go with who they can get the most back. Who can they get the most in return for? And right now, I think it would be Brandon Ayuk. I mean, Debo Samuel has had some great seasons, but most of the great stuff we remember him for is kind of in the past now. And so, he's been injured multiple times in the past few years. Every time we get to the end of the offseason, there's been trade rumors for, I think, the past 2 off seasons this time. Remember, same thing last year whenever Tyreek Hill was on the trade market. And so, so it's I don't know. I think it is Brandon Ayuk. Brandon Ayuk has been the most consistent wide receiver for the 49ers. Debo Samuels, who, in fairness, has been asked to do a lot. He catches a lot of short passes, mid passes, even handoffs sometimes, a lot of screen stuff. But the guy has been injured more than a handful of injuries. So I don't think he has the same value that Ayuk does, being a younger and more productive player.
Yeah, I think you're gonna get more. I think you're gonna get more out of Ayuk than you will get out of Debo here, just because of what Ayuk can bring to the table. But the only downside to that is now you're stuck with 2 slot wide receivers, right. with a new kid in Debo instead of a deep threat in Ayuk. But let's be honest, the Niners don't use the deep ball that much, and you would expect them to go get themselves an offensive line to protect their asset in Brock Purdy, and don't do it in the first round. So this pick was so interesting here. Just in the matter of the fact is they went out and got somebody they really don't need. You just signed Jawan Jennings as well, who's a pretty good third down wide receiver.
Yeah.
So why are you addressing something that really doesn't need to be addressed? So again, I think this is a shot at those 2 starters there. They're going to get rid of one of them at some point during the season so they can make the new kid from Florida kind of the central point here, which I think he would do really good in Kyle Shanahan's offense, which is a lot of short slants here, kind of old school West Coast offense kind of thing. So I think he will be a very good asset. You're just going to have to, unfortunately, see one of these guys go.
Yeah, that's right. Man, I mean, we got a ways to go before football gets here, man. But it's dominating all the time.
Let me just grab something real quick here. All you fans who are watching the draft and act like y'all know who each player drafted and acting all dramatic when they drafted someone, I can guarantee you this: you didn't watch one college game of that player that your team drafted. Okay, so knock it off with the fake shit. All right. Don't sit there and celebrate saying that you got a good guy. You have no idea what the hell he did in college, all right?
Pretend.
No, don't sit there and pretend like you know who he is and sit there and celebrate and slap vibes with your fans acting like, oh yeah, we got the draft pick. Half the NFL people do not watch college football, okay? So I'm not trying to hear all of that nonsense that you know what you're talking about. Look, I know a little bit. I'm not saying I'm an expert, but I'm not going to sit there and go, oh, my God, Michael Penix Jr., slap hands, Atlanta Falcons, we did a great job. You guys didn't watch shit until the national title game, okay? So I'm not trying to hear all you guys celebrate. I'm tired of seeing these videos of people acting sad like they drafted someone bad. You have no idea who your team drafted, okay? That's like, and especially when it gets into like the third or fourth round, even the fifth and sixth round, when they're sitting there going, "Why did we draft him?" No one
Yeah, who
knows players out
cares,
of the
man?
fifth and sixth round.
Yeah.
Okay, good God, man! I just every time the NFL pans to that stuff, I'm like, dude, you guys need to just stop. Just stop. These guys, they don't know who they just drafted, yet they're celebrating like they won the championship.
All right. I mean,
They're just trying.
unless you're picking in like the top five, top 10 maybe. Not
The
who
first
knows
round,
who knows how it's
maybe
gonna
the
go.
second round. First round for sure. Second
Yeah.
round maybe. But after that, it's like I'm gonna go to YouTube and watch him play, and all you're gonna see is the good stuff out of him.
Right.
If it's a 2-minute video, you're gonna sit there and tell your friends at the water cooler at work, dude, we got the steal of the draft, man. We're gonna
Right.
sit there and we're gonna dominate. It's like, dude, get the hell out of here. You don't know who he is.
Yeah. And then by the way, if you watched Caleb Williams play at all last season, you probably wouldn't have.
He was
picked him to
dog
be the
crap
first-
last year.
Wouldn't be. The
He was
first
dog
pick.
crap last year.
He didn't play well at all, man. And I watched
Hell
some
no.
of the games, and it was not fun at all. They were pretty
Yeah.
bad.
Screw him. He went to USC, University of
Okay, calm
Spoiled
down,
Children.
calm down.
Nah, screw all that.
Oh man. So before we head out, we're gonna discuss. For some reason, Antonio Brown has decided to make himself relevant in the news by making comments about Caitlin Clark's, we'll say, nether region, and it's not, very classless, of course, and helps me trying to. It's what is it? The CTE that's causing this, or?
Oh, I think so.
Or
I think
Antonio Brown has been on quite the run since his, just his retirement, where he just walked off the field with the Bucks some time ago, and every time he pops up, it's something weird. He pops up out of all of a sudden he owns an Arena League team or some crap like that, and he's on the floor wearing a sparkly jacket or something, and it just seems like the guy really needs some help. I wish him the best, but this is a really odd story. But I'll let you speak on it, but I want to talk about that. I think this is a good thing for the WNBA. I mean, I don't want to, obviously this is not. It's not right.
It's not what they. It's not what they really.
It's not the
want.
attention they want.
Exactly here, but for those who don't know, all AB has on his Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, has been pointing out the fact that he made a comment saying that Caitlin Clark is probably hairy. I'll let you all figure that out there. But he has kept saying it over and over and over again. And it's like, why are you so concerned about this? You know what I'm saying here?
Yeah.
They kicked him off of Twitter. He got right back on, made another comment about it, got kicked off again. He's been kicked off twice already. You know what I'm saying? And then he got right back on again here. Look, this is a great tool for the WNBA to defend their star player now. They hadn't had a star player in a while, and now they have the opportunity to defend her here. But someone needs to pull AB to the side. They need to test his brain, and let's just make it clear that he's got CTE, because this man has been wilding out since he left. Like you said, since he left the field, with half of his jersey off.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I mean, something's not right with the guy. I hope he gets help, because the last thing we want to hear is in 2 or 3 years we hear a story about the guy getting deleted. You know what I mean? And so it's and that's the type of stuff that ends up happening. So it's just I hope he figures it out. But for the WNBA, they got to capitalize on this. This girl Caitlin Clark is getting a lot of attention, and some folks are critical of it and critical of, well, why is she in this? Who cares? The WNBA needs as much of this as they can possibly get. They need to eat up all of this attention, focus it into whatever marketing they can for this girl's very first game. She needs to be on every commercial until people are sick of seeing her, because bottom line is you got to get eyes on the game. You got to get butts in the seats. And this is the type of situation that can help do that. If it's that serious to where Antonio Brown is trying to hitch his wagon to Caitlin Clark to get views, you got something. Roll with it. You got to.
Yeah. Caitlin Clark is in State Farm commercials now, and they're being played in the NBA playoffs. All right. WNBA teams are having to move games into an actual NBA arena because they're selling out those games against Caitlin Clark. And then the big one right now, she just signed a shoe deal with Nike. All right, so all y'all that complained about her contract is now going to get intensified because of the money she's going to make with Nike. The WNBA has to take every advantage of this. She was courtside doing the whole little rev up thing with the Indiana Pacers as well.
Yeah.
So you have to, she is it now. So whatever you need to do to make sure that her name is brighter than anybody else's, you need to do it. This is great for the WNBA. I can't be any more happier to see something different for them. And it's succeeding as well.
Right. Right. And she has her contract is $338,000, which is top in the WNBA. That's a big contract.
It's top dollar.
That's top dollar. Now she probably got paid a lot more money from Nike. Actually, I'm gonna look that up. So and here we go. B. Let's not feel too sorry for. Clark is expected to sign a $28 million contract with Nike.
See, stop feeling bad for her now. All right, cut it. $28 million.
Got the bag. It's over.
And you guys, that's money guaranteed for her. As long as she's in the league, that money's coming to her. And that doesn't even start with the commercials that she's going to be in as well.
Yeah.
The spokesperson she's going to be for a lot of these things here. $28 million with the Nike. Tell me another WNBA athlete who's signing that deal. Past and present.
Nope.
Candace Parker didn't. Sabrina didn't get a deal like that from Nike. Yep. Caitlin Clark did. So this is perfect for them. So kudos to her. $28 million. She could basically just tell the WNBA to keep that $300,000 contract and just make her money off of the Nike deal. That's it.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what her shoe's gonna look like. That's gonna be interesting.
Hey, look, the idea is the Tiger effect, right? You have to find it, right? Remember,
yes,
golf was just golf, folks. It had been around for 100,000 years. But the moment the PGA Tour included a man named Tiger Woods, all of a sudden, more folks started watching golf. Now, as a result of more folks watching golf, guess what happened? Everybody got paid. They started making more money, more TV sponsorships, more money. The PGA Tour was making money hand over fist whenever Tiger was in his prime. And that's why you'll never hear them talk bad about the man named Tiger Woods, because the only reason the purses were as high as they were is because of that man. So, yeah, this is what you have to do. You have to find a way to put them out there, because the ultimate goal is to get more eyes on the product, and that's what they're trying to do. So, I know there's some haters out there talking about her, and, whether it be Antonio Brown or NBA players or other WNBA players or whoever. It doesn't matter. Look, don't be stupid. No. This is supporting your game. Support it. You might not like the way it looks. You might not even like the player. I don't care. Okay? Just do it. Because that, as Nike says. Because
there you go, Nike. Just do it.
At the end of the day, you gotta get, in order for them to make $1 million, get $1 million contracts, they gotta make $100 million. That's the way it goes. So that's what you got to do, man. So good for her. Hopefully they get it done.
Here's a better thing. NBA All-Star Weekend. Get ready for this.
Oh, it's coming.
Sabrina and Caitlin Clark against your two top NBA three-point shooters. 2-on-2 3-point contest here.
Oh, yeah.
It worked. It worked with Steph and Sabrina. We all had eyes on it, and she held her own.
Yeah.
Those are two ladies that can shoot from the NBA 3-point line with no problem. Absolutely, so why not bring it back? Bring it back. I'd love to see that again. Bring it back. Bring it back.
They will. They for sure will, man. I have no doubt. No doubt. Oh man. Hey, so let's
Phoenix is winning 57-53. Damn it.
Yeah, but that's a small. That's just a little score, man. They can still win. It's 56-57 now.
Yeah, I just saw Kat hit that three.
Yeah.
So come on.
Yeah.
Come on, Minnesota. Pulling for you.
If this ends up being a close game, then the Suns are in trouble. The Suns are in trouble.
Oh, transition man. 3. Give me that one more time. Oh, Jesus. Look like my shot. Oh, God. All right, y'all.
All right, folks. Well, we appreciate you. Nathan, Nathan's got a couple more things. What has he got? I think he's selling CTE now. The man jarred it and put it in. He put it in a jar and is selling it. He also said
he's finding.
So they could also come in. Plus all the interest she will make off the $28 million investments. Just the rich getting richer. Yeah. But the most important thing is what it will do for the game of the NBA. So all those folks that complain, anybody that has a complaint about what the WNBA stars make, go out and buy Caitlin's shoe. There you go.
Oh, dude. Can you imagine what this shoe is going to do for not only just for the WNBA, but for the college game, for the high school game?
Too. Yeah.
The women have been needing a shoe deal for the longest time, and they finally got one.
Yeah.
It's going to be a snowball effect here. Angel Reese is probably going to get a deal too.
Yeah,
Wouldn't
be
shocked.
Yeah. I wouldn't be shocked if she does. I mean, she should. And we'll see. And hopefully we see a lot of games with them playing against one another. And, we can live out that rivalry a little bit. Make it interesting. That's all I'm saying.
The Magic Johnson and Larry Bird for the women here.
There you go. Just like that.
I'm calling it.
Oh, man. All right. Well, I think that does it for us. Thanks, Nathan, for hanging with us. We appreciate you. Drunk. Oh, drunk. That's right. Drunk. Thanks again. And we're on our way out. We're gonna head into Monday with our heads held high because neither of us are going to work. Ha! Hope y'all have a wonderful. On that note, hopefully y'all have a good Monday, and we will see y'all next Friday when we jump back into Pick'em Dummies.
Round two of the NBA playoffs.
Let's do it.
Yep,
it's gonna be great. Oh man, is it the end for my team? We'll see.
It's. I'll call you tomorrow after the game's over. I'll let you get it out of your system.
I hope I'll fire. I mean, as long as they fire Darvin Ham 2 minutes after the game, I'm gonna be in a good mood.
That'd be funny if they halfway through the game, if they're down by 20, they say, "Dude, don't come out at halftime. Okay, we're done with you.
We got your plane ready for you. Don't bother."
Happy birthday, brother.
Oh, appreciate it. All right, y'all. Again, thank you for joining us. Hit that subscribe button if you like what you're hearing. Go ahead and hit that notification button as well as like the video. We appreciate y'all. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful Sunday evening. Peace.
Have a good one.